Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. I'd like to start this video by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Give honors to my teachers, the elder apostles, and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and doing well. Peace, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Yashar Allah. Okay? Lord willing, this will be edifying, straight to the point. Okay? So, this lesson came through the spirit and inspiration of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. As I was unfortunate enough to have to work yesterday during the Shabbat, knowing that yesterday and today we're going through a double Sabbath. But yesterday I had the unfortunate pleasure to be in the midst of the congregation of the dead, okay, which again gave me the opportunity to be grateful to have this knowledge. So without further ado, let's get into it. It says here, I'll start off with 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Hamashiach had suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. Okay, the same mindset of Yahushua, because we have to conform your mind to be transformed by the renewing of your mind and be modeled after the example of Yahushua. Okay, and Yahushua's mindset was to be in total obedience unto the will of his Father. Okay, to his meat was to was to do the will of him that sent them and to finish it. And we are to have the same mindset as well, because just as the Most High sent Yahushua sent us in the world to do the work. Okay, we have been hired to produce fruit. Okay, and as much as you invest into this ministry is as much as you're going to get back, as much as you're going to get a return, a spiritual return in the time of wrath. Okay, you see? So again, likewise with the same mind, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, that he no longer shall live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of man, but to the will of the Most High. So again, as I witnessed yesterday, was the people living to the lust of man, lusting to the things that are contrary to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, they were not submitted to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because again, it was the Sabbath. Okay, but people were out there doing all sorts of madness, man. Okay, the peanut butter chasers, the carpet lickers, yeah. Right now I'm speaking in code. Okay, if you understand what I'm talking about, the ABC gang members, the all sorts of abominations, man. Okay, the left hand, man, was in the work yesterday, man. Okay, the whole day, even today, man. Okay, well, you see. With that being said, as I was in the midst of it, I was thinking, these people have no care, no thought for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, you got flamers on stage and they're filming. They're filming it. They're clapping to it. They're acknowledging it, and just as it says, he that consented is partaker of the sin. Okay, no one was there rebuking. Well, no. Actually, I'll take that back, because there were a few other guards. Okay, because that's what I do. I'm a security guard. But other guards that were there, okay, that came from different countries that are not from here, from Canada. Okay, they saw it, and I saw it in their faces. Well, at one point, me and the other security guard that was on the other side of the stage, we locked eyes and we said, like, yo, this. We understood each other, like, yo, this is madness. Okay, every time we saw flamers, we had to turn around and face the crowd rather than to face the stage, man. Even the women that were there, they're promiscuous and all types of madness. And again, now I'm thinking in the back of my head, that's what you guys are doing on the Sabbath, unknowing. That's I believe I made a video yesterday pertaining to sins that people commit. There's the sins that we commit willingly, and there's the sins that we commit unwillingly. So some people, who knows what they know, but I'll just assume that these people don't know that yesterday was the Sabbath, but they still committed a disobedience by performing those acts. Okay, but anyways, so again, Verse 2, that he should no longer live in the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of man, but the will of the Most High. Okay? And that starts with the Lord revealing himself to you, giving you this knowledge, giving you the breath of life. Okay? Drawing you near unto him. Okay? And transforming you. Changing your mind so that you can be so that you can resemble Yahushua more and more, and kill the old man more and more until the perfect day. Okay? Reading on. For the time past of our life may suffice us, that we have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, and abominable idolatry. Even to the point where it felt like it was satanic ritual, man. Literally, man. It felt like it was a satanic ritual, but I was the only one that perceived it as such. The others, the people in the crowd, the people that were or organizing such events, they might have known. The organizers, the people that are behind the scenes, they might know what's going on, but the rest of the world, to them, was just a show. Okay, it was just a fashion show. But man, I saw that it was all left hand energy, left hand satanic vibrations that they were pushing out on the public, on children. Okay, and these people, they were there clapping and enjoying, partaking in that iniquity, man, not knowing that they're marking themselves as enemies of the Lord. Okay, I was there, but I wasn't with them. I sent curses. The whole show I was sending curses, to the point I had to ask them to switch places. I told them, I can't stay here. I told my supervisor, you gotta send me somewhere else, man. I can't stay here. I got to a point where I was sending curses so much. I was like, I gotta leave, man. It got unbearable, man. I was just as Just Lot was vexed with the filthy conversations of the wicked. Okay, I was vexed, but at one point I had to leave, man. Okay, surrounded by a bunch of fools. Okay, you see, and it says here, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. And I tell you not, and I kid you not, I can feel the vibration. They felt the energy that was coming off of me. They felt that I was not with that shit. They could see it in my eyes, and I could see it in their eyes, that they understood that I wasn't with it. Okay? They knew that even if I was there in the midst of them, I wasn't with that same. I wasn't with them. Okay? I was denouncing and I was against the actions of the wicked, while they were for it, where they were condoning it. Okay, I was how do I say? They were condoning it, and I was accusing it. I was pointing the finger. Okay, sending up curses, man. They were loving it. You see, screaming, hollering, clapping. You see. But me, and again, speaking evil of you, because I felt it in their eyes, man. They didn't have to say much. As it says, 90% of communication is non-verbal. I could see it in their eyes, and they could see it in my eyes that I wasn't with it, and they could see it, and I could see it in their eyes that they weren't with me. Okay, except for, like I said, a few guards that I seen from across the stage that had the same look as me. You see, that we weren't with what was going on. You see. Well, people that have been desensitized to wickedness. Okay, people have been programmed to accept evil. Okay, just as it says, woe unto you that call evil good and good evil. These people were speaking evil of me for being against wickedness. Okay, but they were for evil. Okay, they were for the ways of Satan, man. And I saw it, and I felt disgusted, man. Just to be in the midst of that congregation, I felt disgusted, man. I was thinking to myself, man, I could have been at home, resting, reading, doing some videos. Okay, but hey, everything is according to the Spirit of the Lord, man. Okay, I got there and made my daily bread. That's what I was thinking. I'm only here for my daily bread, and then I'm out of here. I'm not here for anything else, man. You see. So again, they speak evil of you, because again, the wicked is an abomination unto the just, and the just is an abomination unto the wicked. So they felt the energy just as I felt their energy. Okay, you see. But again, that separation starts with the Lord choosing you and taking you out of that madness. Okay, cleaning you via His word, via His knowledge. Okay. So I wrote down a few precepts. So John 6 and 40. It says here, no. John 6 and 44. I'll start at 40. John 6 and 40. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone would see it the Son and believe it on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Okay, so first of all, you have to acknowledge that this is the truth. Okay, this doctrine, okay, that Yahweh Shai is the Son of the Most High, that Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai are the names that you have to call upon. Ba'ashem Racha Kodash, those are the true names of the entity we call that we call the Most High, and that we call the only begotten Son. Okay, those are the entities that you have to call upon in the time of trouble. Okay, and believing on those names, and not only believing but obeying their ordinances, their commandments, their laws. Okay, submitting yourself to the will of the Lord. That's what it means. Okay, and it reads, I'll jump to verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him. So even the fact that you acknowledge that Yahweh Shai is the Messiah, that you acknowledge his name, that you acknowledge his characteristics, that you acknowledge his purpose, okay, that's of the Father that opened your mind, your eyes to understand these things. That's how he draws you near. Okay, he says, okay, you're a chosen vessel, worthy of that knowledge, and then he allows you to have it at a time and place, okay, when it was ordained for you to acknowledge that truth. Because again, I'll speak for myself. Most of us, I'll speak for myself, but most of us that we were in the world at some point. We were walking as Babylonians. We didn't have the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, we had to come out of the world. We had to come out of darkness. Okay, so yes, at one point we were living as Gentiles in the flesh. Okay, being Israelites, by blood, by nationality. Okay, you see, we were living as the other nations, following idols. Okay, not knowing who our power is, following after vanity and false doctrines. Okay, but now coming to this understanding and acknowledging it as being the truth, the true gospel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, you're now transitioned from death unto life. Okay, and we're gonna get that just after I read this verse 65. I see. Jump to verse 65, and he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come to me except they were given of him of my Father. Okay, so you can't come to Yahweh Shai if the Lord doesn't allow you to come near unto him, and you can't come near unto the Lord if you don't acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you see the first full circle. The Lord will make you to know Yahweh Shai, make you to know his only begotten Son, and through his begotten Son you have access to him, which gives you access to life everlasting. Just as the Lord says, what he only loves them that dwell with wisdom. Yahweh Shai is the physical personification of wisdom itself, and that's why it says in Proverbs 8, he that findeth me findeth life. Okay, so everyone that is walking against the ordinances of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, walking against the knowledge of what is written in this gospel, according to what is written in the scriptures, okay, to the light and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, according to this specific gospel, according to this specific message, is because they have no light in them, meaning they have no knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and the Lord is not dealing with them. You see, I was going to mention something. Yeah, I believe it's this one. John 15 and 18. And it reads, no, it's not this one. Let me see 12 and 45. And it reads, No. It's not this one. It's Salakia. It has to be 5 and 24. It has to be 5 and 24. Lord willing, 5 and 24, and it reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life. So again, you hear the words by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai allowing you to believe in them, faith comes from the Most High. Okay, not every man had faith. For you to believe in these things, the Lord has to allow you to believe in these things, because as it says, what the Lord will send them strong delusions that they should believe a lie. Okay, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. If the Lord doesn't open your understanding to acknowledge this truth, you're never gonna be able to get it. It doesn't matter how much someone tries to break it down to you, how much someone gives you explanations, dates, facts, numbers, all that. It doesn't matter how that person tries to break it down to you. You'll never understand it. It'll be too high for you. It says wisdom is too high for a fool. Okay, and it says what? And shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. So that transition, acknowledging Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, finding this truth and walking in therein, represents you passing from death unto life, because now you have access to that, to immortality, through your obedience to the correct doctrine. Okay, well, and that's ultimately what people are seeking for. Okay, the truth. Okay, the truth shall set you free, as it says. Okay, so when you're in darkness, when you're doing the will of the Gentiles, when you're walking as the people in the world, okay, you're doing works that will lead you unto death. At the end, you might enjoy yourself, you might have a good time, but at the end, it will not produce fruit of immortality. Okay, at the end, you'll be destroyed. Okay, you'll meet your end. While as it says, let me bring that out. No, it's not. Let me see if it's this. No, it's not that. It's in 1 John. It says here, 1 John 2:17. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. So all the mannerisms, the mindset that the world has, which is evil, which is contrary to the ways of the Lord, it will pass away, meaning that will not remain. Okay, the day of doom is the end of intemperance. It's the end of infidelity. It's the end of disobedience. Okay, and the beginning of the immortality for to come. Okay, because it's going to be established according to the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So you see, if you're living your life as a servant of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you'll be rewarded a righteous reward. If you're living to serve your own belly, okay, to serve yourself, you'll be rewarded as a worker of iniquity, and you will be destroyed. Okay. And it says, so going back to John 5. John 5 and I believe it was 24. And it says, I'll read that again, John 5:24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me had everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. That transition that I spoke of. Okay. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is. Okay, and we are in this time. We are in the time where the prophets are out there in the highways and byways. As it says, call upon the Lord while he may be found. This is the time where he may be found through his men. Okay, by his mouthpiece, for proclaiming his word, proclaiming his name, proclaiming his intentions, his will, pertaining to this wicked kingdom and the kingdom to come. Okay, preparing the way for the return of Hamashiach. Okay, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, but his real name is Yahushai, according to the Hebrew tongue. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you that the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of the Most High, and they that hear shall live. So here is not only believing, but also applying the knowledge that's being told. You see, the knowledge that is given unto them by the men that were sent. Okay, and the dead represent those that don't have this knowledge. The dead are those that are walking in darkness. Okay, as like I mentioned, the Israelites that are walking as Gentiles, they are following the ways of the heathen. Okay, once they hear it, those that were found worthy will change their ways and repent and turn back to the Lord according to the right doctrine, according to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, according to the spirit of truth, rather than the spirit of error. Okay. And it says what the elect the sheep of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, if you're really a part of his flock, you will hear his voice. Neither life, neither death, neither principalities, neither spirits can take you away from the love of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? So again, the Lord will bring you back to him if you really belong to him. Okay? And again, that's why you have to be thankful that the Lord has chosen you. It's not of you. It's not of us, man. As it says, it's grace. And grace is it's a gift not deserved. Okay, so it's not like you worked for it. It's not like you because of how many times you fasted, how many times you prayed, how many times you gave alms, that the Lord at one point at a certain level, at a certain amount of things that you have done for the ministry, okay, he'll give you grace. It's not like a video game where you just you defeat this amount of enemies and at this point you'll get this reward. No, it's a gift of the Lord. Okay, because again, we are all worthy of destruction. We are all worthy of being put to death. But because of that said grace, because of that opportunity, because of the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, we have been covered. Those that believe, again, those that believe have been covered and have opportunity to be forgiven for their trespass. Okay, and it says, let's see. So I read that. We'll go into John 15. John 15, and it was what verse? 15 and 18, and it reads, if the world hate you, know that it hated me before it hated you. And I felt, like I mentioned the quick introduction, I felt that hate, man. I seen it. I felt it from the nigger woman. I felt it from the people in the crowd. Okay, at the same time they were watching Flamers doing their dance on the stage, but at the same time they saw me, they saw my face, they saw that I wasn't with it, and they showed disdain for the fact that I wasn't appreciating Flamers dancing on stage, man. Okay, their flamboyant costumes and stuff of that nature. They didn't appreciate it. That I didn't appreciate being forced to watch it. And then the fact that it's satanic, because the fact that my supervisor placed me right center stage, man, where I was forced to witness that shit, man. Instead of putting me somewhere and parking somewhere far from for that abomination, it just so happened, through the spirit of Yahweh, I guess the Lord just wanted me to be there so I could curse these people, man. Send curses upon these people, man. Okay, so I can testify that yes, these people are for wickedness, destroy them. So as it says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the good and beholding the evil. Okay, I know speaking of the angels, but even the word angel goes into a messenger. Okay, so even I could have been on the physical side of things, I could have been a messenger of the Lord, being sent there to witness the evils that are being done on the Sabbath day. Okay, so again, verse 19: if ye were of the world will love his own. Okay, so all these people that were there, all these people that were. I didn't take it. You see the spirit. You see some guy just got robbed. He's following after the guy. Anyways, so it says here, if you were of the world will love his own. Okay, so these people, they loved the flamer, but they hated the righteous. They hated the righteous that was there, who was opposing the ways of the wicked. They hated me. They hated Yahweh Shai first. They hated Yahweh Shai. Okay, you see. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hate you. Okay, they show their hate because they saw the vibration that I was coming with was a righteous vibration, and they were against it. Okay, because this world, if you're not in tune with the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're in tune with the ways of wickedness. Okay, you're in tune with the ways of darkness, and you love it so. Okay. And it says, so again, that's why that it comes with the territory. Okay, being following after righteousness, as it says, departing from evil, you become a prey. Okay, you see, so I was a prey in the midst of wolves. I was a sheep in the midst of wolves, and I saw it in their eyes that, hey, If they had the if they had the power, they would have tried to put me to death. Okay, if the power was in their hands to slay me then and there, hey, they would have done it. And I saw the hate in their eyes, man. Just as they seen the hate in my eyes pertaining to the evils that were done in the midst. Okay. Anyways, let me see. I'll bring out Colossians, see what's going on in Colossians 1. And 14, and it reads, Colossians 1 and 12, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in the light. Okay, not in darkness, in the light, according to the right knowledge, who had delivered us from the power of darkness, from the ways of the world. Okay, the Lord has enlightened us through His knowledge so that we can acknowledge what is good and acceptable in His sight. Okay, the things that are pleasing unto the Most High were made known unto His chosen. Okay, unto Israel, but starting with the elect on this side. Okay, the elect and the 144,000, the 144,000 and the great multitude that will reverence Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in truth and in spirit. Okay, who had delivered us from the power of darkness and had translated us into the kingdom of His dear Son. Okay, that's why it says the kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay, according to this knowledge, according to this understanding. Okay, according to the application of this knowledge. Okay, as it says, we have this treasure in earthen vessel. Okay, we are representatives, ambassadors of the kingdom of heaven on this earth by the way that we walk, by the way that we talk, by the way that we interact with these people, man, by pushing forward the vibration of righteousness in a world filled with darkness, man. Okay, we are the light in the midst of evil, in the midst of darkness. And again, that's why we also catch that hate from the world, because they that do evil hate the light. Okay, they don't come to the light lest their deeds should be reproved. They don't come to the light because they don't want to change their ways. They don't want to conform themselves to the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see, they want to do their own thing. They think that the Lord is wrong and they're right. Okay, they're following after wickedness is more appeasing to the flesh. And as it says, she that liveth in pleasure is dead as she liveth. Hence, again, being I was yesterday surrounded by the congregation of the dead. Me being alive, having this knowledge, and being able to witness the separation. Okay, even if I was in the midst of them, there was still a separation because I wasn't with them in spirit. Okay, I was there physically, but in spirit, I was contrary and I was in a straight opposition to the things that were happening at the moment. Okay, there is. Let's see. Let me see what else I can bring out. Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5, I believe is what Ephesians 5 and 6. That's it. Okay, and it reads Ephesians 5 and 6. And let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. Okay, because of evil, because of disobedience, because of disrespect towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, not acknowledging who that He is. Okay, be not ye therefore partakers with them. Okay, even like I mentioned, I was there in the physical with them, in the midst of them. But spiritually, I was against them. I was a straight opposition against them. They saw it in my face, and I saw it in their face, that we were not alike. Okay? For ye were sometimes in darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. So there's a separation. Right? Okay? Walk within the fear of the Lord. All these people walk in complete folly. Okay? They choose to run after folly, while those that fear the Lord walk in the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. Okay? Which the people in the world are completely against. Okay? There are in the world, is rather than be goodness, it will be evilness. Rather than righteousness, it would be wickedness. And rather than truth, it would be lies. Okay, they're in complete opposition, man, to the ways of the Lord. And it reads verse 10, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, which is what? Obedience, walking in the fear of the Lord, pursuing after wisdom. Okay, pursuing after righteousness, truth, and the spirit, man, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. Okay, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. The things that I've witnessed yesterday, man. Hey, behind the scene, it's even darker. It gets darker. When you go into the abyss, it gets even darker, man. When you sink into the abyss, there's things, man, I'm sure that you don't want to hear, that you can't even talk about, pertaining to those things, man. Those events, what you have to do to be allowed to perform in those places. Okay, to have access to success. The things that you have to do for success. Okay, and it says here, but all things are reproved. So but all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. Arise from the dead, meaning what? Turn back from the ways of evil, man. Turn back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua while it is yet day. Okay, while you still have time, while the doors of repentance are still open unto you, man. Okay, see then that ye walk see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools but as wise, not as people that think that there's no consequences for their evil deeds, thinking that they're going to be able to ride off on the sunset, okay, without having to face consequences for their actions, for their impiety, for their disrespect towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Redeeming the times because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Okay, so again, having this knowledge, having this understanding, gives you that ability to know what the will of the Lord is. Okay, death and destruction to this wicked kingdom, and life and forgiveness for those that serve Him. Okay, and that's ultimately what we're preparing to witness in the days to come, man. Okay, as the evils are increasing in the world, okay, famine, pestilence, wars, rumors of wars, the prophecies are coming to pass. We're getting closer and closer and closer onto World War III. If you haven't noticed, okay, if you're too busy sipping on your Starbucks coffee to realize that this world is coming to an end, you're in it for a major surprise, man. Okay, the financial collapse, the new technocratic system, the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the microchip that the wicked elites will seek to impose on all citizens of the world, whether rich or poor, as pertaining to Revelation 13. All these things will come to pass as it is written, all right, in the days that we're in, okay, in the near future. Okay, prepare to see some major changes by the end of October. Okay, October is a date that they have set up for major changes. Okay, I'm not too. That date is in my head because I remember hearing either from a video or either from reading a news article. I have to get back to it and find out what it was again. But it is a very important date, the end of October. So prepare to see things, and prepare to see the world change drastically by the end of the year. Okay, by the end of the year, it's gonna be a totally different world, man. Okay, which will ultimately lead on to which would be a manifestation of the end of this wicked empire. Right? So Lord willing, this was edifying. I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Double honors unto my teachers, the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Double honors, salutation, peace, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Yashar Allah. Okay, and again, remember to be thankful that the Lord took you out of darkness and led you to the light, so that you can do works that lead unto life, good works, okay, that will remain with you. Okay, keep fighting, keep striving for righteousness, and And remember that the Lord is not unrighteous to forget the deeds of love that you do for His name's sake and for the elect's sake. All right? Shalom, shalom, shalom.